let's imagine the negotiations break down, both sides continue fighting, and USA stops supplying weapons to Ukraine even for money. Do you have a plan B for this? Thank you.
Well, I do not. No, I don't think that plan B we have to think about. Because the US is very consistent in support for Ukraine, like all NATO allies are very consistent. Of course, what the US told us is we want to supply Ukraine with the necessary weapons, both lethal and non-lethal. But we expect Europeans and Canadians to step up when it comes to the paying for it. And that's this Pearl program, where the US is delivering the necessary weapons, including the air defense systems and the PAC-3 missiles for the Patriot systems, but also for the other air defense systems, and all the other stuff and all the military gear you need to stay as strong as possible in the fight, paid for by European and Canadian allies. That is the big program. It started in July, and at the moment already 4 billion, and I think by the end of the year 5 billion of that supply will have been delivered to Ukraine, critical material. But I have no reason to think that we have to prepare for those eventualities.
Okay, third row in the center here.
Mikhail Kalinin, The
Hello.
Insider, Russian Media in Exile. So my question is, what real pressure can NATO put on Russia to end the war, and why should it work? Because by now we don't see that Russia is ready to end the war, and nothing seems to work.
Well, there is a peace process ongoing, and let's do the max to make that into a success. But if it is not successful, and what we have done consistently over the last 3-4 years, there's a couple of things. First of all, making sure Ukraine has the weapons it needs to fight the war. And the Pearl initiative, starting in July and now having delivered at the end of this year at least over 4 billion, but I'm again confident we will get to the 5 billion for the full year, and then of course continuing the program next year of key US supplies to Ukraine, is also putting pressure on Russia, because it shows that we are serious. As I said, we are not going anywhere. We are serious. We will make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to stay in the fight. Secondly, we have the economic sanctions, which are having an impact on the Russian economy. There is only so much Putin can do to paper that over. To a certain extent, with some sovereign assets and whatever he has, he can try to give the impression to the Russian people that all is fine. But we know that increasingly it is hollowing out. And he is getting to the end of the line when it comes to these ways of covering up for the huge economic impact of the sanctions. Thirdly, what we are doing is indeed, when it comes to the shadow fleet, for example, increasingly taking action to make sure that we make it more difficult for the shadow fleet to sail. And if they pose a threat to the environment or to whatever vital infrastructure we have in our part of the world, that we will make sure that we intervene, and that's what we are doing. And all of this is putting pressure, of course, on the Russians, and we will continue doing so. And whenever there is a creative idea to do more, we will do more. But I feel all allies really being extremely motivated to get this done.
And just next to him in the third row.